Hi, good afternoon. It's me again, your friend, Justice. Justice A to Z. Oh my goodness, the lighting is so bad. I'm telling you, afternoons are the worst for lighting. It's just a flood of it, but hopefully that'll be all right. I have a couple of things I wanted to share with you guys, and as always, I like to start out by saying that everything I say is my opinion only. It's sheerly for the sake of conversation and hopefully educational and entertainment. So, thank you for joining me here. And as you know, I am just really focused on the Kylie Rodney case. Um, I think it's been very frustrating for a lot of us the last few days, basically, ever since that videotape came out. Megan was making it pretty stupid and stressful. And then the videotape that corroborated Megan's story I might have misspoke yesterday when I said that Harsh Reality wasn't buying the videotape because it seems as though he is stating quite clearly that it's valid. However, from my perspective, what I saw him initially say about it was that he was kind of neither here nor there and that he didn't care, right? I mean, sort of, I kind of have that same attitude, but he seemed to be reserving judgment. And then he was sort of revealing that he was leaning towards it being bogus. I thought I could have been misreading, between the lines. Anyway, at this juncture, he's certainly stating that he thinks that it is accurate. And one of his arguments, I love Harsh, I love him. One of his arguments is that if they were going to invent a tape, they would have invented something more better that would exonerate everybody. Okay, I beg to differ on that opinion that they would be making a better tape because criminals aren't smart. If they were smart, they wouldn't be criminals. And I'll just leave it right there. All of us are free to have our own opinions. And as much as I respect Harsh, I'm not going to respect him any less because he has a different opinion on something. We all have different opinions on everything. And Sage, hi there. How are you guys? Was watching your first video of the day. LOL. Oh, how cool. So here I am at my second video. It is Wednesday, August October 12th, 2:00, or 2:15. Yeah, more like 2:15. So, I am doing my second video today because of a few things that I have noted down that I really feel like it's important to put out there right away. First off, Cotton Candy Investigates 2.0. And thank you, crowdsourcing. It's so cool that I was just able to ask my peeps this morning, and somebody put it in the chat, how to find this Cotton Candy Investigates 2.0. All right. This person, I'm pretty sure, is kind of a bigwig in the YouTube, but it seems that their channel was shut down or something. And so the new channel has less than 1,000 subscribers, and it looks like it's only been up for a couple of weeks. So I don't know what the whole deal is there, but I had heard good things about Cotton Candy Investigates for a long time and was not able to find it because it had a different name, and it's with a K, Cotton Candy Investigates 2.0. So I went there specifically to find that tape of Kylie's frenemies putting some girl in the trunk of a car. Okay, I found the tape, and that's not what it is. If you haven't seen this, it is disgusting. It is what may or may not be people she knows, giggling girls like a bunch of hyenas, putting a young woman or teenage girl, not in the trunk of a car, in the cargo area of an SUV. I'm not fucking kidding you. and the girl looks like she's bound, like maybe her wrists, maybe gagged. I'm not sure, maybe blindfolded. I was so horrified. I watched it a couple of times and I'm still not sure. I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't fucking believe it. It's not a trunk, it's a cargo area. Are you kidding me? Sage says, wow, she got shut down. Weird. Hey, Angie Baker finally caught me live. Thank you for being here, you guys. Hi, Brian. And Sage and Rhonda. So what? Where did you see that? That's what I went to the Cotton Candy Investigates 2.0 for. It's like a 45-second video, and it's horrifying. It's absolutely horrifying. I could cry. Seriously. It's so disgusting. The most disgusting, poorest taste. I'm telling you, they're making a mockery of the whole horror. So that takes me right into something else I have written down here, which was a quote from Mr. Jagger Westfall. You know, I love Mick Jagger. I wish this punk kid didn't have his name, because Jagger's a cool name for a first name or a last name. I love it. But this guy is awful. Awful. I can't believe Kylie ever dated him. I can't believe anybody would ever date him. Like, Kate, cut him loose, right? Kick him to the curb. And I'm not sorry. I'm not even going to say sorry, not sorry, because Jagger, you are a POS and you know it. Pull your head out of your rear end, okay, kid? You are in for a world of hurt if you continue with a lifestyle like this. So his quote to AWP yesterday, something to the effect of, you made a mockery of her death, used it to gain fame. Okay. Let me just add here that Lindsay Rodney, Neiman Rodney, Kylie's mother, is the first parent in the history of AWP recovering loved ones' remains. She's the first family member in their experience that has not thanked them. Okay. Just let that sink in for a second. I'm just going to sit with that. Lindsay is the first parent to not thank Adventures with Purpose for finding their lost loved one. Man, if that doesn't speak volumes, I don't know what does. Let me put my glasses on so I can read what you lovely people are saying here. I see Rhonda says, yeah, I seen that. It is disturbing. Lola Rue says hi. JC says hello from Denmark. Brian Sutherland says, yeah, that's crazy. And I agree. It's absolutely insane. You know, Lindsay, I've been so light and easy on her, being a mother myself and not wanting to critique any parent or anybody who's going through such a tragic situation. I'm so sorry about the light. Let me just do that. Is that better? But one of the things that I wanted to say about the lifestyle, and I was, I've wondered why there's not very many pictures of Kylie when she was young, and there's like no baby pictures of her at all. So I don't know what that's about. I don't know if it's just because like they don't do much online or what, but the childhood pictures that you see of Kylie, she does not look like a happy kid. And my thought is, how could she be? She's living out 4 miles from anybody. She's got a mother and a father initially when she was 7, just the 3 of them out there and their guests. And then when she was about 8, her mom had a baby. So, I mean, babies take a lot of attention. I had not even really plugged that into the whole equation. So she was probably pretty much on her own. And that's probably how she got so good at music, at singing and playing instruments. But all the pictures that I've seen of her when she's little, she looks really stressed out and really, really not happy. I mean, you can just see it in a person's face when they're relaxed and happy. Let me say, counter to that, as a teenager, she looks very happy, right? I mean, she looks like she's having the time of her life in most of those photographs. Some of them she looks quite serious, and I'm sure she was. Just all that solitude and again being so far off the beaten path. So something that kind of surprised me in looking at pictures from her childhood was her and her mother wearing like long skirts over their snow pants outside. It just kind of looks Amish or Mennonite or something like that. If you haven't seen those photos, check them out. I think I saw them on Cotton Candy's channel. Because I had been looking, I had Googled many times for baby photos and childhood photos, and pretty much nothing came up. And so Cotton Candy has a bunch of them. Anyway, she didn't have much of a childhood. She had a lot of neglect, in my opinion, and the negligence with her parenting or lack thereof, and negligence with her friends. I call them frenemies. May well have played into her death, right? We don't know precisely the details, but according to Sammy's story, it definitely played into her death, but I don't buy anything that smug idiot says. What I wanted to say about child abuse and neglect is that a lot of people think of neglect as no big deal and child abuse as physical abuse and sexual abuse, children getting beaten. And in reality, I don't want to say most because I don't know the exact statistics. I have to Google that. a big chunk of what Child Protective Services investigates and finds and has to deal with isn't so much the active physical abuse. It's the neglect. And if you don't understand the seriousness of neglect, like, yes, it makes children sad when they're neglected, but it's also extremely dangerous for so many reasons, from drowning to poisoning to suicide to falling off of a roof, falling off of a porch, falling out of a tree, getting kidnapped, breaking a leg. I mean, so many things, unfortunate things that happen to young ones are from neglect. Enablers are neglecting people. Yeah, absolutely. And people that are, I used the word in my earlier video today, the alignment. When there's an inappropriate alignment and people are enmeshed, right? When people are enmeshed in one relationship in their life, they are usually negligent in another relationship. So it's almost like that enmeshment is trying to make up for the deficit in one relationship. And it just doesn't work like that. Each relationship needs attention and nurturing, and especially children, and especially your female child when you're the mom, right? I mean, dads are super important too for both boy and girl kids, babies. But let's see. The other thing I want to say before I forget about that video of the girl getting put into the cargo space of an SUV is that she gets put in there in the fetal position. And I think it was Harsh who said that Kylie was in the fetal position when she was found. And when he said that, I was like, I've never heard that. I wonder where he got that. And I figured that he probably got that in an email or something, and it kind of slipped, because I think the only thing that AWP has said about her positioning when they discovered her was that her legs were kind of dangling. So, the roof of the car was on the ground of the lake, and she was in the, here with my hand, she was up in the cargo area that was up higher than the roof, right? The roof is down here, she's up here, and then her legs were dangling. So that's all I've heard AWP describe about the condition that they found her in. And then what just disgusts me is how when they flipped the car, I mean, obviously they destroyed everything and made a mess of it, but especially Kylie. I mean, that is abuse of a corpse as far as I'm concerned, and I think that people need to be charged. I honestly think that everybody in this case from the ground up needs to be charged, whether it's negligence, abuse of a corpse, lying to the officials, planting evidence, destroying evidence, all of it. I mean, this whole thing is just a mockery of our justice system. And as I'm looking up, I'm seeing Deborah Blevins, who says justice for Kylie. Mrs. Kylie says, absolutely, her mother too. Yeah, yeah, the more it sinks in, and that the mother doesn't change her story and just thank AWP and apologize for not thanking them sooner and just explaining, her grief. They'd understand. I mean, come on. They're nice guys, obviously. Um, so a couple other things I have written down here. When Sammy is in her interviews with, the ever so disgusting All-American creep and, with one of the news agencies and just other interviews in general, but those 2 especially where it's, like, up close and it's just her, she's getting all that attention and she's just basking in it. She's just glowing, and she's so happy, and she just looks so pretty and so comfortable and so relaxed, and it's just like you don't see hardly a shred of anything except gloating, sheer gloating, and reminds me of the duper's delight that, you saw on Chris Watts's face in that infamous porch interview when he's talking about how much he misses his wife and kids, right? Let me read a couple of these. Jay Bass says, "Not sure why mom needs to say anything." Okay. Um, and Deborah Blevins, "They should let AWP do the whole car flip for sure, especially Doug being an ex-tow truck driver." I agree. Rhonda says, "My neighbor's son OD'd a couple of weeks ago and he was a mess, blamed himself for not being a good enough father, worried his son hated him. He was a mess." Oh, I'm so sorry to hear about that. Oh, awful. Absolutely awful. Um, yeah, we do blame ourselves, and I brought that up in one of my videos that, you haven't seen or heard any of her friends or family say the woulda, coulda, shoulda, which is not very productive, but it's also kind of a natural thing to go through when you're in a situation like that. Like you just think, oh, if I would have just done this different, if I would have done that different, just any little thing that could have changed the outcome. And, we often blame ourselves. Taking responsibility for our actions is important. Blaming ourselves is not productive, but in a tragic incident like that, usually people cannot help but blame themselves. What do you think about this case? Do you think justice will be served? Good question, Deborah Blevins. Um, my first response is my fear is that they're going to call it an accident. It's going to be a done deal. And my hope is that justice will be served, that some higher power of authority will step in and realize that this is an awful mess and that it must be cleaned up. My soapbox about it is not just cleaning it up for Kylie and for, the situation there, but cleaning it up for ending the corruption there and ending corruption in law enforcement in general, that there's a lot of it. It's been getting exposed and it hasn't really been getting eradicated. And until it does, I think that nationwide, people are going to have less and less faith and trust in the system. And the system can't work without faith and trust. You know, we have to be able to know that we have confidence in our first responders, that they're going to help. Squirrels on Fire says, I freaking love your channel and POV. I'm not sure what POV is, but thank you. That's super nice. And Deborah Blevins, right above that, says, why did the FBI give up so quickly? You know, the FBI getting involved made sense when they thought this isn't a minor who is potentially abducted. And my stance all along has been, it still seems like she was abducted, in my opinion. So for FBI to not be involved, from my perspective, is part of the corruption. And I have had a lot of experience working with law enforcement on all different levels, in court, with police, with county sheriff's departments, with attorney general's offices, and with federal authorities. So I do know some things, and I hate to say it, but you can't trust them. I'll just freaking say it, because, you know, we would like to think that the FBI coming in will save the day. And I've something that I've said a lot the last few days is that these authorities of a higher jurisdiction, they don't really care about these lower jurisdictions. They just simply don't have time. It's just a bother. They're busy. They get paid the same either way. They're not going to stick their nose in other people's business. They're going to do what Lindsay wants, mind your own beeswax, right? If a community has all of their law enforcement and all of their administration on board, they can do whatever the heck they want. And then you've got California with these county sheriffs that are the coroner, the administrator themselves, and basically the chief of the police department. And it's kind of a sham. It really is. So again, I'm sorry about all that sunlight. I'm going to wrap this one up pretty quick. Where are we at? Oh my God, already at 22 minutes. How does the time fly? I have so much fun talking to you guys. So what did I have written on here that I hadn't said yet? I wanted to talk about the sunglasses, those awful, ugly heart-shaped sunglasses that Sammy is wearing to the celebration of life, is what they called it, the memorial service for Kylie. And she's got that tight white dress. I seriously wonder if she's wearing anything underneath it. If she is, it's a thong and that's it. You can tell she doesn't have a bra on. And it's short, it's hiked up, and it rides up, and the design of it is to make it ride up even further. It's ridiculous. And then she's got the heart-shaped sunglasses on, and she has them up on her head at the funeral. From what I saw, the way they're up on her head, it almost looks like a freaking tiara. Am I saying that right? Anyway, then she's got those same sunglasses on in her little music video that she made at college, and she's also got a cap like the SF and the cap like they describe, like Nick describes that the boy is wearing, the guy, when he is talking to the girl that introduces herself as Kylie at the vehicle that may or may not be Kylie's, that may or may not be Saturday morning, August 7th at 11 o'clock. So, I'm going to wrap this up. My opinion about all that is that, there's videotapes to validate Nick's story and the date that it happened at. So I have pretty much this whole time held on to the belief that his story is accurate, that it was Saturday morning, and that it was somebody who introduced herself as Kylie, but not Kylie. So We know that she has a friend that looks so much like her. Her ex-boyfriend is sleeping with her, and her mom let her move into the house with the ex-boyfriend. So I don't know. These people are so insane. I mean, this whole thing is like surreal, and to think that Kylie, this beautiful, lovely young woman coming into her own, that this was her support system. I mean, no wonder she ended up like this, right? I mean, these are the people that you need to steer clear of. So on that, I'm going to wrap up. I want to say to everybody, I hope you have a lovely afternoon. And please drink your water, eat your protein, eat your fruits and vegetables, get your exercise, stretch, take a nap, put your feet up, hang out with your friends and family, and be nice to yourself, be nice to your pets and everybody around you. And anybody who's not treating you well, make sure you keep them at a distance. So I like to advocate for people to have healthy boundaries, and especially in cyberspace. And I saw somebody made a stupid comment. I will block you. I don't have time for it. I mean, honestly, screw yourself. Sorry, not sorry. I mean, what's your point? Why are you here if you were going to be a jerk? Okay. Um, I really don't have time for it. I don't want the distraction, and I want to focus on all the really cool people that are offering their kindness and support. And, we're really all here for Kylie, right? I mean, seriously, we care. There's so many other cases that we could be focusing on to help, and we want to focus on Kylie for the reasons that we have. So, and I want to share more with you guys about why I am so drawn to Kylie's case. So maybe in the next video tomorrow morning. Anyway, take care, be well, and I'll see you then. Thanks again. I'm so sorry for the flood of light, but I try, and I try not to do the afternoon ones because of this. So either morning or night. Anyway, we did it. We'll see you on the next one. Have a great day. And thanks again for your time.